Minotaur. Now imagine entering a maze, knowing there's something inside hunting you. That was the Minotaur. In Greek mythology, the Minotaur was a monster with the body of a man and the head of a bull, imprisoned deep inside a giant maze called the Labyrinth. The maze was built by the inventor Daedalus for King Minos of Crete, specifically to contain the creature. But the Minotaur wasn't just locked away. According to the myth, Athens was forced to send young men and women into the maze as sacrifices, where the Minotaur would hunt them in the darkness. Imagine wandering endless stone corridors with no idea where the exit is, hearing footsteps echo somewhere deeper inside the maze. Eventually, the hero Theseus volunteered to kill it. Before entering the labyrinth, Princess Ariadne gave him a ball of thread so he could find his way back out. Because killing the monster was one thing, escaping the maze was another. And that's part of what made the Minotaur so terrifying. It wasn't just the creature itself, but the hopelessness of being trapped with it. Kitsune. Not every mythological creature was a giant monster. Some were way more dangerous because you'd never know they were there. In Japanese folklore, Kitsune are magical fox spirits capable of shape-shifting into humans. The older and more powerful a Kitsune becomes, the more tails it grows, up to 9. Some Kitsune were mischievous tricksters who manipulated humans for fun. Others acted as wise protectors connected to the Shinto god Inari. But the terrifying part was this. According to legend, a Kitsune could disguise itself as literally anyone. A stranger, a traveler, even someone you trust. Some stories tell of humans unknowingly befriending, marrying, or living beside Kitsune for years before discovering the truth. And because Kitsune were believed to be masters of illusion, victims often had no idea they were being deceived until it was far too late. Which means, in some of these stories, people had no idea the person standing next to them wasn't human at all. And honestly, that's way scarier than just fighting a monster. Fenrir. Most mythological creatures are dangerous. Fenrir was world-ending. In Norse mythology, Fenrir was a gigantic wolf and the son of Loki, the trickster god. The gods feared him because of a prophecy claiming that during Ragnarok, the Norse apocalypse, Fenrir would kill Odin himself. The problem? Fenrir kept growing larger and stronger, and no chain could hold him. The gods tried massive iron restraints, but Fenrir snapped them apart effortlessly. Every failed attempt only made the gods more terrified of what the wolf would eventually become. So they tricked him. Dwarves forged a magical binding called Gleipnir, made from impossible things like the sound of cat footsteps and the roots of mountains. But Fenrir became suspicious and demanded one god place a hand in his mouth as proof they weren't lying. Only Tyr agreed. And the moment Fenrir realized he'd been trapped, he bit Tyr's hand completely off. Even while chained, Fenrir was still feared because the prophecy claimed that one day he would break free, and when he did, the end of the world would begin. Kraken. If you were a Viking sailor hundreds of years ago, the ocean was basically a nightmare. No GPS, no weather forecasts, and absolutely no idea what was beneath your ship. That's where the legend of the Kraken comes from. According to Scandinavian folklore, the Kraken was a gigantic sea monster living deep in the northern oceans near Norway and Greenland. Some sailors claimed the creature was so massive that they mistook its back for an island. Imagine landing your ship, stepping onto the island, and then suddenly the ground beneath you starts moving. Moments later, giant tentacles rise from the ocean, wrapping around the ship and dragging it into the freezing darkness below. Some stories even claimed the Kraken could create enormous whirlpools simply by diving underwater, pulling nearby ships down with it. The craziest part? The myth may have started because of real giant squids, which actually exist and can grow terrifyingly large. And if ancient sailors saw massive tentacles emerging from dark, stormy water in the middle of the night, it's easy to understand why they believed something monstrous lived beneath the sea. Maybe the Kraken wasn't completely fake after all. Banshee. And finally, the Banshee. Probably one of the creepiest creatures in all of folklore. In Irish mythology, the Banshee is a spirit whose scream warns that someone is about to die. Not tomorrow, not eventually. Soon. People described hearing terrifying cries outside their homes late at night. A sound so unnatural that they instantly knew something horrible was coming. Some legends describe the Banshee as an old woman with gray hair and hollow eyes. Others describe a ghostly woman dressed entirely in white. Some stories even claim she appears near rivers, silently combing her hair before vanishing into the darkness. But no matter what she looked like, the scream was always the same. And according to Irish folklore, once you heard it, there was nothing you could do to stop what came next. That's what made the Banshee so frightening compared to other monsters. She didn't attack you. She simply warned you that death was already on its way. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. And if there's another topic you want explained, comment it below.